So you're here with Access Paranormal, and it's not the voice of Jamie, it's not the voice of Jonathan, it's the voice of Neil from L35 Online Radio.
You have
But
to think about
I have
that.
to think about that, yeah. But I am with Jamie, I am with Jonathan, and this is it's a special. It's a 3-year anniversary basically, because you've been going for 3 years.
Yeah.
So we've spun the tables around a little bit, and I thought, right, I'll come in and interview you this evening, as it's a 3-year
cool,
anniversary.
Yeah.
It's a bit wacky, isn't it?
Well, I did give you 2 minutes notice.
So,
well, professional though.
L3 years.
L3 years.
There you are.
Well, in 6 months' time, you come back, can't you, and say L35, because halfway through the year.
3.5.
Wouldn't that be 36?
Yay.
No,
3.5.
10 months a year.
Okay,
Anyway,
let's leave it at that.
yeah, leave it at that. So it's 3 years. You've been on one 3 years. It's 3 years has gone fast.
It has,
Exceptionally
hasn't it?
fast, isn't it? Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Because obviously you only came into it about episode 12. Jonathan?
Yeah, about that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Jamie got scared.
No, wasn't it though? It was episode 14.
Oh, there he goes.
14. He knows them
He
all.
does, doesn't he?
doesn't
Yeah. He's like what's it? Was it Wikipedia?
Yeah.
He isn't he?
Full of crap.
Yeah. you know him better, so you can say that.
No, it was not. It was episode 14 he came in on.
Yeah.
Because episode 13, I'd done an interview with Sean Kenner from Millsey Barracks on my own, and that's when I said to Jonathan, "Do you want to come
I'm
onto
scared.
the show?"
Because he was
The
scared,
co-host.
that's
Yeah,
why.
exactly.
Actually, is that one where you were in the room on your own
Yeah.
and you could hear things out? Was it this room, by the way?
No,
No,
it was
on
only
the
Oh, it was
other
on the
side.
top end up there. Right.
Yeah.
That's where we did our little one last year, wasn't
Mhm.
it? For L35,
Yeah.
and it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to do a bit of an outlip afterwards because
Yes.
it never worked. It
That's
didn't
right,
record
yeah.
properly, did it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. So right, okay. We'll stay
Yeah.
here then.
Yeah. So that was it was show 14 he came in
Show
on.
14.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, I'm so sorry that I know these numbers.
I mean, like I said, Wikipedia of
Yeah.
the Access Paranormal.
I am actually on. It's
You
not
are,
that.
you are indeed. So in the 3 years, then you must have we've done 155 shows up to today.
Is it 155?
Up to today, yeah. So off the top of your head, what would you say is your most memorable?
It's got to be show 13, hasn't it?
Show 13.
Weird enough, it's number 13 as well. Interview with Sean Kenner.
Mm.
Just having a quick talk about it then, weren't we? It was the night that I was in here on my own.
You heard little noises.
It's the tables creaking.
No,
No, I heard something over there.
No, where? Over where?
Over that side over there.
Well, do you know when you used to?
Right,
I know.
well, do you know when you did, right, obviously you only just said that.
Yeah.
You seen me look around. I seen something moving.
Yeah.
That
I mean, I
window.
can hear this creaking about under the table there, so I
Yeah,
can hear that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't that. But I seen like a shadow moving that
Yeah.
in that middle window.
Yeah.
But there's nothing there.
I like a.
We're not in it.
Yeah.
Well, when you two was downstairs, I was in here on my own,
Having
and
your
I
burger.
thought he had something over that side of the room. I know it's on the radio, and we're
Yeah.
pointing. I know.
Yeah,
so
basically-
sorry about
Yeah.
that.
Well, basically, with a room, aren't we? It's a room about 12 foot long, 6 foot
Yeah.
wide.
Yeah.
One main big window in the middle. You've got 2 doors. One this one, and that porthole, one that side. And that's technically it, isn't it? That's
And
the
the
room.
main hall is
And the main hall is
outside,
looking,
but
you're looking over the
downstairs.
main hall, aren't you?
Yeah,
Basically.
that's what I mean. So you can't
Yeah.
get a shadow
No.
going across that window.
Because we're like 10 foot up in the air.
Yeah. It's creepy, isn't it? Well, we had that. My finger.
That wasn't paranormal.
That wasn't paranormal. That was
Me whacking my hand.
back in your hand.
That was a bit strange.
But
anyway, yeah.
So
Yeah, it was the Sean Kenner one from
Yeah.
Dark Territory. Brilliant people.
yeah,
Brilliant people. And I was interviewing him, and that was the creepiest night I'd ever had. Go and listen to show number 13, Sean Kenner interviewing. You'll understand what I mean. Save me repeating it again because I've said it a few times. And then that's when I said to Jonathan, "Hey Jonathan, do you fancy coming and being my co-host on the show?" And he went, yeah, that's great. I'd love to do that with you. And I said, "Oh, brilliant, that's great." I never told him until later on why.
Yeah.
so got you there first, mate.
Mm.
False pretenses.
Yeah.
Too
certainly
right it
did,
was,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I haven't been able to escape since.
No.
Yeah. It's been good.
So that's yours. Episode 13 then is yours,
Mhm.
Jonathan.
Ooh, oh my gosh.
What episode?
There's probably a few.
That's a
Do you know the one I enjoyed most though? One of my favourites, and
Mhm.
it was. Do you remember the ones we interviewed from America? I can't remember the names. It was a couple, older couple, and he was talking about the house.
Mm-hmm.
But he said he couldn't call his wife by her real name, and he called her like Harold or
Harold,
something.
yeah.
But the stories that he was telling us about the houses that he'd lived in was just
Brilliant.
like it was like listening to a movie, but
Yeah.
it was real. Do you know what I mean?
They were the ones that moved.
They moved.
And they moved
There
to
was
a
a hurricane,
house
wasn't
with
there?
No, there was a plane crash, wasn't it, in
The plane crash.
into the mountain or something, and they moved into the house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really, really
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah. But it was just believable. Do you know what I mean? And one of my other good ones was Russ Kelly,
The
the UFO.
UFO.
Yeah, you know what? Because I remember that going out, and we got a lot of interest back off that through
Yeah.
emails
Mm.
asking about it and when it's going to be repeated, because we do repeat the shows, obviously.
Yeah.
And we're asking, could we do it as a podcast? But the time, obviously, it is out on YouTube now.
Yeah.
But we did get a lot of interest on that with the UFO ones.
Yeah.
I
Well,
remember
we are going to be getting Russ back on.
that. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's,
That was an interesting one. That.
it was so passionate,
Mm.
and he was telling the story like it was like it had happened like yesterday, but it was like different
Mm.
years in his life where these things had happened, and he'd been
Is that like a regeneration?
Yeah.
So is that obviously maybe like in the previous lifetime? Is that what?
No.
Now. Oh,
yeah,
right.
oh,
Okay,
God,
sorry.
yeah, now, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, I think one of his story, because he lives up Yorkshire way, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I think he's moving to Spain soon.
Is he?
Yeah.
We'll get him back on before he moves.
He'll still be doing all the stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was up at like Leeds, Yorkshire way, and he was on a motorbike, and he was going through this tunnel, and it was something about a car following or so. You'd have to go and listen to that episode. It was just so believable, and he come up the other side of this bridge thing, and he got abducted by these aliens, and he went and fought in like this like
Battles.
actually battled with other aliens from
Yeah.
different planets and stuff, and yeah.
So
Isn't it?
we
But-
will get Russ back on now.
But it's, do you know like when you listen to some people like that, and you think, oh, they're a bit wacky then.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
He was serious.
But he was
You
dead.
can, I think
he
you tell by the manners of people sometimes, can't you?
Yeah, but
you
we were
know,
sitting in
yeah.
the room with him while he was telling us.
Mm.
So, but he was just like, yeah, it was just like
And
he wasn't wacky. He was just wasn't a wacky
Very
person
clever,
at
yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It
Yeah.
was so. I really do believe what he said.
He's well known within the UFO.
Yeah, he's very big in
around,
the
he's quite big
in the UFO
around, yeah, he's big in the
world. He's
papers.
very
And obviously at the
big.
moment that big inquiry going as well, isn't it? Over in America, isn't it?
Mm.
Over
Yeah.
the cover-ups
Yeah,
at
it's
the
in
moment.
Well, it's all
course,
coming
isn't
out.
it?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
So
everything's
there's that going on at the
coming
moment as well, isn't
out.
there? You know,
Yeah.
the big cover-ups going on. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's an interesting thing
Yeah.
to watch.
So we'll get in touch with Russ, because we can get in touch with him.
Yeah,
can't we?
yeah, we'll get
get
him
in touch
back
with
on.
him and get him
Yeah,
back, because it might be interesting now to get him back on
While all this is happening.
while all this is
It
happening.
will be, because obviously it's going to be show a big interest again, isn't it? It's going to suddenly
Yeah.
wake up a little bit. So
Yeah.
it will be a good call. That one.
So yeah, that was a good one as well.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed them all, to be honest. Each one individually has been great.
Mm.
And what we do love doing is going out and about and doing paranormal investigations. Because we were talking about it, weren't we? We were saying we're doing too many paranormal investigations and things like that. And I think what we're trying to do is equal it out, because what we want to do is do the investigations for people who can't get out and do them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
People who are, in no respect, housebound, who'd love to do it. We're trying to bring it to them into
Yeah.
their houses.
That's the point of it, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the
Yeah,
same with the
that's it.
podcast we're doing,
Yeah.
the paranormal podcast, and the investigations we start to record now is so people in the houses
Excuse me.
can
Yeah.
experience
Yeah.
what we're doing. Do you know what I mean?
But
That's why for 3 years we're not bored.
No.
I
We're
think
loving
it's
it.
like Neil's mentioned before there as well. It's like some people are they're either into the paranormal or they're not, and then you get the people that want to be,
But they won't admit to being it.
Yeah,
But they have an interest there, yeah. You know,
they have
and
that
that's-
interest. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
if they can listen to these invests and they can listen to like these interviews, then that's their
Yeah.
little bit then, isn't it? That's their
I mean,
thing.
as we've said, there's always ways to dismiss things, and as
Yeah.
we've talked about in the past, obviously the one of the scary moments I had, there's no way you could dismiss that, at all.
That's
And that's just a freak out, not to do the ghost hunt, you know what I mean? And it's just one of those, so it's it is powerful, it is very, very powerful, and it's got to be treated correctly, it's got to be done with respect, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
We're going to do a show on artificial AI, because now it's a big thing, this AI. It's going to be more. We were coming to the point where we were thinking, we've got the technology now, or some technology, that we're getting some kind of contact with the paranormal, with spirits, or whatever you want to call them. But this AI is another kettle of fish, because you're not going to know what's real and what's not real. The only way you're going to know whether it's real is your own personal experiences.
That's it, and the physical side of it, isn't it? So you're actually involved in it then.
So it's not getting easier with the paranormal now. It's going to get harder.
Yeah.
It's going to get very, very hard. You're going to see videos on YouTube, TikTok, wherever, and you're going to think that that's real when it's artificial intelligence. And that's where it's getting scary.
And they're the ones you need to disprove, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're the ones you want to disprove.
Yeah.
But then it's this really goes back to the actual the paranormal nights, and you sort of feeling it for yourself. And that's it, and that's where you want to stay away from the YouTube or the that type of sensation, what's going on, and just live it yourself, and go and see it yourself.
I mean, they're good to watch, good entertainment, and all the rest of it. But So yeah, some of them might be real, some of them might not be. Who knows?
But unless you can live it and feel it, then
exactly. Unless you're actually there,
you can judge yourself. Then, can't you?
It's leveling off, really, in a way that you've got the artificial intelligence. You want to watch it and you enjoy it and you want to believe it, fine by me. But it might be it might be good for paranormal investigations. What we're like the group what's in tonight is they're coming in and experiencing it for themselves. So there might be an influx of bookings, people going on ghost hunts because they can't believe what they're seeing on the TV. The only time they're going to believe it now is when they're on an investigation with you, and not watching AI.
That's it, because with paranormal, it tends to go. It peaks and it drops, doesn't it? You have times where it's in the news, everyone's doing it. There's groups setting up everywhere, there's invest going everywhere, and then the time it takes a lull, it takes a beating sometimes as well.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And then and people take the mickey out of it, and it sort of drops down, and then it sort of claws back again.
I think it's in a bit of a lull at the minute, or it has been in the last couple of months. Because we opened the bookings for Mill Street, and then the groups coming in. You have like some of the big event groups. Some of them are only bringing a few people. They usually bring 30.
That's what I mean, because I know this was always a very popular place, wasn't it? And the good
It's
groups.
still popular.
No, I mean, like the people come to it,
They seem to be struggling to get people to come on the events, if you know what I mean. Whether it's the cost of living.
That's hard to say, isn't it?
Well, it's going back to COVID, isn't it? I know it's only a few years now since COVID, but everyone struggled from that.
A lot of groups ended.
And then like you've got the cost of living now. It's the people are struggling again. So it's one thing on top of the other.
It is.
Then, like I said, when AI comes in, AI comes in, it's going to make it's in.
It's in.
It's
But when it
even
comes,
more.
like I say, that's one of those things. Isn't it? It's not a chance to recover, is it, from COVID, the cost of living, and obviously it's classed as it's a night out, it's entertainment. So do you want to spend that money, or food on the table, or heating this in some cases, isn't it?
Exactly. And this is why we enjoy doing the radio stuff, because
you get it,
we're bringing it to them into their own houses.
That's it.
And we're more than happy to do that. And the same, like we were saying, when we record the podcasts, it's great for us because we enjoy doing it anyway. I said it on the catch up which is coming out, and I said, we're not bothered if anybody never watches it. We just enjoy doing it.
That's right. So
and if we get one person watching it, then we made someone happy.
That's
it. I hope.
That's it.
That's good.
Okay, so we've sort of asked what your favourite was. I'm not going to ask you the worst.
Working with him.
Well, isn't it? But what made you decide to sort of set this up? What sort of took you down this route?
Me, yeah. I've always I've always been into the paranormal for years and years, and we were talking off air about the 1992 Ghost Watch in Michael Aspel and that. So we're having a really good talk about that, and I always swear by that one because that was like the Holy Bible, for what's happened now. You know, you've got Most Haunted, you've got the Paranormal Lockdown, you've got all these ones coming right across the world.
Yeah.
You know, and I've lost my train of thought. something's taken over me.
What made you go down this one?
I think it was like the interest has been there, but the technology hadn't. You know what? It was beyond our reaches at the time, and I've always wanted to do things. And I started the paranormal group back in 2010, and then obviously technology got better and better and better, and then the opportunity came to do the podcast or a radio show, and it was with Access Northwest.
That's right, yeah.
And it was fantastic. It was absolutely brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And he gave us the opportunity to do that, and so we thought, well, let's do it. Let's go for it. I was with James Anthony then, proper one. Proper
He didn't moan him, did he?
No, he didn't.
And he shared his food.
He shared his food, yeah. And we it was the hottest. It was August the 16th, 2020 when we recorded it.
Wikipedia.
August 16th when we recorded it. And I think it went out on the 20th of August, the first one, and we were in James's back room in St Helens. And we just threw some things together, put a microphone in it, and it was sweltering, it was roasting, it was COVID, and we were absolutely boiling hot. It was the time where you could mix a little bit.
I was going to say, was that like
just
symptoms
in
of
case,
COVID there? You know, you're streaming, sweating.
No, it was the time that we could like go and visit people, and that was it then. I'm not like Boris Johnson, I was fine. And we didn't party or nothing like that.
Yeah.
And I remember it well, sitting in that back room, and I was like, hello, welcome to Access, because I was absolutely boiling hot. And I think we had a weird introduction to it then, and then from there it was nice to go, you know, to get going. And then it was like nerve-wracking because you're thinking, am I doing the right thing? And you can tell from when we first started to now, the difference is unbelievable. Even I listened to it back and I go, did I really sound like that? Was I that stupid at the time? But now, I mean, we just enjoy it, don't we?
That's the confidence thing as well, though, isn't it? You know, getting comfortable with what you do, and you know, and that. And so obviously, it's like anything dawns when you first do it. You always sound. I started doing some vlogs a while ago, and I've stopped doing them because I just don't feel like it's gone another direction I want to do it. But obviously, you got to keep on going at it to get sort of comfortable with it and do it. So I've started doing like little video takes. So maybe one day I'll start doing it, but. You know, it's all about that being comfortable. You know,
it is.
And at first, when we start getting the first interviews, I'm going, oh God, this is a bit. But what I've done is, because I was like booking people here in Mill Street, I knew the people. So I'd say, can I interview you for the podcast, for the radio show? Yeah, that's great. And I knew them, so it was more comfortable, and that gave you the confidence. But then we started like getting from America. Canada.
Through
Facebook. Yeah, but by then I'd got the confidence to do it. But I've always been interested in radio stuff. I've always been interested in theatre stuff and everything like that. So I think it was like the nice road to go on.
Just a natural progression, really.
And then the likes of yourselves gave us that opportunity when I had the interview with you before we hadn't done this.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And then, you know, it was nice that we were on one station and then you come along and said, do you fancy doing it for us? And we went, yeah. So that's what we did. We came across to use, and that gave us a boost as well. Sorry?
What was that station?
L35.
Was it L35? Yeah.
L35 online radio. Sponsored by rocketembroidery.co.uk. T-shirt printing and embroidery. Established in 2006.
Just down the road.
Can you tell that I'm reading it off his T-shirt?
And they're just down the road.
So what's his name? Paul
Helsby, Rock Embroidery.
Paul Helsby. You do some great T-shirts there. We're looking for some. Just saying.
Fleeces are great as well.
Yeah, no, we're looking for leaflets. Paul, I just want to do a newsletter every month. I promise you I won't send any ghosts to your police. Yeah, so that was the way forward to me as this. And I mean, we're 3 years on, and I'm still loving it as much as I did from day one to this. You know, we're always thinking of the next thing to do. I mean, we do the podcast, we do the radio, we do investigations, and what's the other one we do? Podcast, radio. That's it. Yeah.
It's like a family event as well, is it? Because obviously Marie's involved.
Marie. Yeah, my family's involved. There's Marie.
Talk about,
there's my dad.
Yeah. Well, that's what I do want to say. I was trying to get the word correct, before I said dad. Obviously you got hand, Ian. So obviously, so it is quite which is good in one respect because obviously you do go over the country.
My other son Mark has been involved. And he's very clever at what he talks about.
Yeah.
And then there's my cousin Andrew, who lives down south.
Yeah.
Who's also having a little bit of an involvement as well, because we're going down there soon, and he's like, we're going to a wedding, so we're on the same tables, and we've already said we'll have a chat about what places we can go to down there. So we've
Tascam's coming.
Andrew, Tascam's on its way. So it's great, and you've got Katie who's been coming along with us, and then Marie's little cat Mile has been.
Yeah.
So it is like a family thing, and I love it.
Yeah.
Which is good because it's an interest for everyone, isn't it? And say it's not hard then when you want to go away somewhere, you know what I mean? Because obviously a lot of people go, it's your thing, you just do that, then you're conscious of the time you spend away from family, but when you're involved, it's a lot easier.
The funniest thing is though, and we've said it before, haven't we? When you're driving along and you're kind of going, but that's a good place to invest. It becomes part of you,
Yeah.
We're driving along and you go,
love to get in there.
Oh, that building looks old, that looks good,
Well, we're going to a hotel next weekend, aren't we? And I said to me, we could do an invest in the middle of, when we get back to the hotel, we could do like half an hour invest for the radio show.
Neil.
What was that?
Which hotel was that?
He'd been to a hotel in Wales, up in Anglesey.
Yeah.
And half the group ended up in there. We went up for it overnight. We had permission from them. And we in the restaurant, in the bar, in the kitchens, and then up on the the corridors.
On the corridors,
where all the rooms are. Doing investigation.
Because we got talking to the owner.
Yeah, it's good.
Said, do you have any ghosts in here? And she went, we're having our dinner in there. And she went, there's one here. Oh, we do paranormal investigation. We'd love to come back. So we booked it. Loads of booked it. Went to this hotel on Anglesey and had a great time, didn't we?
Yeah. My wife came. She stayed in the room.
Yeah.
While we done the invest.
Yeah. So it's
a good family thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is indeed.
Mad. Absolutely, we're mad.
Well, I think at some point you got that in you, haven't you? You got to be a little bit mad, obviously, to do what you do sometimes, and be so sort of embroiled into it. You have to have a little bit of insanity about you.
Yeah.
And it's always on your mind, even when I go to work. I'm sitting in work thinking, we've actually done Mike Work's place as well.
Yeah.
I was sitting in work one day, I went to my boss, said, any chance I can bring the group down here and do a paranormal invest for the radio and the podcast? She went, I don't see why not, you've got a key. So we went down one night into work. There was only about 3 of us, wasn't there? 4 of us. Me, you, Marie, and Ian. And we recorded a paranormal investigation on a podcast.
Just thinking now, top of my head actually, and it's a shame not there anymore, but Edgell University in Ormskirk.
Oh, me too. I went downstairs the other week.
Oh, was you?
Yeah,
there's a whole
graduated.
Because I worked there for 7 years on all the new build stuff. In a former life. For about 2000 up to 2012 I was there. I worked there for 7 years and on the new build, great place. But one of the halls original to the college, well, as it was a college now, university, and it's supposed to be quite haunted. And there's an old projection room upstairs as well. And again, I've worked through the nights there, and it's very, very eerie of a night time. So it shuts down during the summertime, but it might be somewhere. Try and get your number to see if you want to.
Well, I might be able to help out there.
Leah,
because
I'll come back to that one.
Leah, she's just graduated for being a teacher, primary teacher, and I don't know how it came about. But they must have got talking about what parents do or whatever.
Yeah.
And she said, my dad does YouTube, he does paranormal, he does these YouTube videos and stuff on the radio show and everything. And apparently they put our YouTube thing on.
For the class?
In the class.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only 7 of them in the class. But the tutor was I mentioned her name, Annabelle, her name is.
The dog.
She was like really, really interested. So she lives in Eccleston.
She's on the corner.
She's
Oh,
actually
yeah.
my friend on Facebook now
Right.
because she wants to come on a paranormal investigation.
We'll try there. I'm trying to think of the actual hall. It's the oldest hall in the
The
university.
oldest one in
Yeah, and it's off the main corridor, and you come through into what they call the new hub.
Right.
So there used to be a stage in there, they took the stage out. But yeah, it's St Mary's, something like that. It's got an actual name to the hall
Yeah.
anyway, but that is the most probably active part of the university. So
You
it'd be
can go
good,
to
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I
and-
think I'll have a word.
Yeah, and the first floor is the projection room, and that again is supposed to be night times. It's very eerie.
Yeah, we only need an hour or so in there, don't we? Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be worthwhile
That'd be
going.
good,
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah, yeah. It's
I
good
think
there.
I'll be sending a message.
Yeah, that's it. Definitely.
Neil, that's the first time I've seen him smile in a long time.
You just still trying to get me back, aren't you?
Yeah. You were going to ask something before until
And I've lost my
Yeah,
train of
sorry,
thought.
yeah. Sorry, Neil.
I've lost my train
that
of
happens
thought.
on this show. You
Yeah,
know,
lost my train
we
of
ad
thought.
lib all the time.
Just go for it.
Yeah.
Go for
Yeah,
it.
Well, when
it's
we-
just a chat, innit?
What we like about the show as well is it's a laid back show. Is when we get the likes of yourself in, we have it as laid back. We don't have a big list of questions
Yeah.
because we go by. Well, you've turned it around this
Yeah.
time, but we usually go by what people are talking about. So if you say something and we go, oh right, so what happened there, blah blah blah. So it's like, you know, you can go off on a sidetrack
on
somewhere
a tangent,
and
doesn't it? Yeah.
come back on.
We always get asked that when then we like, especially like the ones in America and stuff, other
what are you
countries
going
and
to ask
stuff,
us?
and they'll go, "Oh, how do you work it? Do you have a list of questions? Do
Yeah.
you want me to tell you?" And we're like,
No.
"No."
Yeah.
So we'll
No.
just get you on Zoom or on Facebook Messenger or whatever, or just on the phone, and we'll just chat
See where it goes.
and just go with it.
We had Katrina Wagner,
Yeah, yeah,
Paranormal Lockdown.
Yeah, I watched that one.
That was
Yeah.
a Christmas
Yeah.
special,
Yeah.
that one.
yeah.
And she was fantastic.
Oh, she was lovely, you know.
Mm.
She really was lovely.
Because we had trouble trying to connect up
Yeah.
with her because of the,
It's like I've
the
known her
time
for years.
thing,
I've never
Yeah.
met her.
Never.
It was
It's
Jamie
mad,
that met
isn't
her,
it?
not me.
Yeah.
And she's you know, we're friends and it's lovely. We're going to get her back on as well.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get her back on again
Yeah,
because she was
that'd be
so
good.
laid back.
But obviously, on the podcast, you've had a couple of famous-ish people on. So obviously, you've had Chrissy Rock.
Chrissy
Rock,
Rock, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Chrissy Rock, yeah.
And obviously, Gogglebox.
Yes.
Julie
Malone,
Malone, yeah.
So anybody else? Which
Who we had on? Nigel Bach, Bad Ben.
Yeah, he does all his own movies in
Yeah.
America.
He's quite known over there.
Yeah,
isn't he?
he's well known over there.
Who else have we had on?
Oh
David Traynor.
yeah,
yeah,
we
but
had
he's
David
local,
Traynor.
isn't he? Dave?
Yeah, David
Yeah,
Traynor.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But this is where, because David Traynor, obviously, he's a well-known medium.
Yes.
And my wife, she's very sceptic about the whole situation. She doesn't believe, but she doesn't believe. It's that type of thing, you know.
Mhm.
And she went to a night where David Traynor was on one night
Oh,
in
right.
Prescott, Dean's house in Prescott.
Yeah.
And she went there, and again, so much a sceptic. And there's about 30 people in the room on this particular showing. He came over to Tracy and he went, "No, I'll come back to you in a minute." So he went off, went to call other people. He came back to it, "No, not quite ready yet. I'll come back in a minute." Went off again, and then came back again. Went, "Right." I don't want to go into it because obviously it's quite personal to Trace, but the things he was saying to Tracy, I know people say mediums, he can read you, whatever. What he was saying to Tracy and the way he was saying it and the man he was saying it was how her dad was. And there's no way in this earth that
He
he would have known
was
that.
he?
No, the words he was using was what
Right.
Tommy would have used, you know what I mean?
Oh my
I'd
God.
probably say it because she'll laugh if she listens to this, like, you know, "I can't believe I'm talking through this dickhead."
Mm.
You know what I mean? Excuse me, we'll bleep that out. But that was one of his, everyone was, you know, was ahead. You know what I mean? And so I can't believe I'm talking through, and that's the way he was. So some of the things he was saying to her was very personal.
Oh,
And she
wow.
came out, she was in tears when she came out. She was actually quite astounded, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the only, because she's not a believer, but she's not had nothing to sort of pinpoint,
Yeah.
but that put her on the scale.
Well, it was funny when we
Oh,
I contacted
do you
David
know
Traynor,
what?
didn't I? And we were like, right, it's David Traynor.
Yeah.
It's the David Traynor. He's coming to here for us. Like, you know, it's a player.
Yeah.
Well, this is what we were like. We were going, right, we've got to do this profession, we've got to do that profession.
It was a Sunday
sure-
afternoon.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And me and you, we like nicely dressed and tidy and everything
Yeah.
else. We were right when he comes in.
I said to
Have a shave.
I said to before he carries on, I said to my missus, I'll be home for dinner. I'll be home for my dinner, don't worry.
Yeah,
When I wake up, stay with trainer. He's only going to do an hour and then he'll be gone.
yeah,
Yeah.
he won't have time for us, you know. He's big, isn't he? He got out the card and he went, Jamie, yep, Jonathan, yep, lovely to see you. Come on, let's get going. Come on,
That's what
let's
he's
go.
like.
I just looked at him and he looked at me and we go, what? We've been preparing for this. So, you want to show me around then? Yeah. Okay, should we start the interview now then? No rush, let's get in, come on. And that's what he was like, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yes, come on, the energy here is fantastic. Do you know what? He was such a brilliant person to interview and such a lovely man, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
But we never left here till about 9, 10 o'clock that night.
nice, yeah.
It was a long
in the
day.
afternoon.
Wow.
And he come back, we had him back for the second
Yeah.
time.
He came back
He
a
contacted
week.
said, going to come back.
So
A
you
week
left
or
Warner
two
home that
later.
night.
Yeah. A week or two later, he came back and he's on like the whole Facebook Live thing. And
Oh, it was
Yeah.
great.
it was quite a few of the staff from here as well.
He has a big following, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Oh, he
yeah.
does, yeah.
Good following,
Yeah, very, very big following.
But
I've never seen him
Oh.
at all.
I had heard of him before.
Yeah.
I'd seen him on
Yeah,
Facebook.
likewise.
He was on a
I've never met
TV
him.
programme, wasn't he, as well?
Yeah,
And
he's been on TV.
When they contacted him, I thought, oh, well, I'm not going to get nothing back. But
That's what usually
no
happens
problem.
with these big, like the big
The big
celebs.
stars, yeah.
You don't normally hear from them.
Well,
So,
we had
it's like the
one-
big paranormal people, and
Mm.
and you can send them a message. You never ever hear back.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, you think how many messages they must get, how
Yeah,
many
and that,
emails. They're never going to.
It's got
I had
something
one.
else that was got to sort of draw their interest, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I had one off the TV a couple of months back, and I contacted him, and that, he come straight back to me, yep, that's great, blah, blah, blah. When do you want it and all that stuff? I said, thanks so much for coming back to me, blah, blah, blah. And he come back and said, yeah, that's great, no problem, £200 an hour.
To
Oh,
interview him.
Don't worry about it, it's okay. Not really. I said we're doing
We'll get somebody
voluntary.
else.
We haven't got the money for that kind of thing. We haven't got that kind of resource. We're voluntary, and that's all we're doing. So sorry, we can't do it. About a month ago, he sent me an email asking will I advertise this thing for him. And I delete.
So he said, yeah, 200 quid.
Yeah,
That's what he said.
but no, I mean that's the
200 quid and we
difference.
leave it up for the hour.
Yeah.
But that's the difference. Where
Yeah.
you've got the likes of going back to Katrina.
Yeah.
Straight away she emailed me. I know it took us a few months to get her to come on, and we planned it fantastically to have her for Christmas, but she didn't even hesitate, did she?
No, she
yes,
never.
Jamie, no
And
one.
they're Germans, aren't they? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
that's it,
they're
isn't
the
it?
ones, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously, the other one was more for the money side of things, you know, and that's what I'm interested in, where these have got this.
That's
That's
it,
more for
isn't
the
it?
passion of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rather than
It is.
anything else.
Yeah,
When you think,
definitely.
I mean, over the 3 years we've had some fantastic people, haven't we?
Oh, there's been that many though.
Yeah.
There has just been that many.
I mean, I'm trying to rack my
loads.
brain now to think.
The-
And we do apologise if we miss anybody out. We don't mean to.
I love the Common Mystics, the girls from America.
Love them. Yeah.
We've interviewed them a couple of times now.
Well, they're now
really
coming
good.
on a monthly basis with the Boo Review.
They sort of do. They're not. They don't do paranormal as such. It's not paranormal that they do. It's more. Have you heard of Randonautica?
No.
No, not.
So
No.
Randonautica was an app. It was big in the paranormal bit,
Right.
and the urban exploring people
Right.
done it. So you get this app and you go like that, press a button. It's three. I think there was 3 different things. One for like adventure, one for treasure, one for something else. And you just hit one, and it give you the pin on a map. So you drive to it.
Oh, right, okay. So you go to that location.
Kind of
You
creepy.
go to
Some
that
things have
location.
happened.
So
and
it was either going to be creepy, or there was going to be something there, like a surprise in a box, or like a burnt doll, or
Right.
something like that.
Mm.
It's stuff like that. So basically what you were doing, you were pressing the button and you had to sort of think about what you wanted out of it, and then it'd give you the location, you'd go and drive to it.
Very dangerous, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It can be that kind of, because that could be used again for
there's loads
a
of
lot of spin on it, like
There
in
has
wrong ways.
there has
kind of, you know
been
what I mean?
people who found bodies and everything,
Yeah.
hasn't there?
Yeah, there's people that have found bodies,
Yeah.
and then there's been loads of like how can I say it without being rude?
Weird people,
No,
dangerous.
no. Just
Maybe.
fake.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? On loads and loads of different channels.
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
loads of like.
There's a lot of fake out there as well, isn't there? You know,
Yeah,
unfortunately, you know, it does
Sadly,
attract
yeah.
I mean, it's all to get. It's
yeah,
all clickbait, isn't it?
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
But yeah, so that's what these girls do, but without the app. They
Yeah.
just, the two sisters, they don't live near each other.
They
don't
travel, don't they, a
They're
lot?
about 4 or
Mhm.
5 hours away from each other.
wow,
But they'll just go, they get in the car, and they'll just go and drive in there.
And they go by the psychic abilities, don't they?
Yeah,
If they drive
how
past
they
the
do it.
graveyard and you feel as if you've got the edge to go and you go
Something,
in and you do it,
yeah.
but they do the
Yeah.
research as well.
Yeah. So it's
You
more
know,
about
Jill
the
and-
stories.
Jill and
Jill
Jenny.
Jennifer, yeah.
Yeah.
It's more about the stories. So it's not, they don't investigate anything. They don't do no paranormal investigations or nothing like that. It's more about the stories, and they'll just get in the car, they'll drive somewhere, and they with their psychic abilities, they'll sense like
What they get
something
out of
that's
it.
happened
Yeah.
there, and then they'll tell the whole story.
They're great, aren't they?
Yeah.
And that's why I said we've got them on each month.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to do about 10 minutes each month. But what they're going to do is they're going to tell stories from the newspapers.
right.
Yeah.
So they're kind enough to go and do the research on a ghost story. You know, I think the first one's the 1860s or something like that. I've listened to it. He hasn't.
No, not really yet.
Yeah,
It's like you said on
Yeah,
the
well,
podcast.
you're busy.
Favoritism. Yeah.
I know.
He's, I'm pointing able to you, but obviously
Yeah.
it's radio.
It's near Neil.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean,
That was quite like skill bastard, wasn't it? You know,
Yeah.
that was quite skill, like, you know. That was like your stern point, wasn't it?
I will find you. I have some special skills that you
Special
do not
skills.
wish to know about.
Yeah. I've seen these knots.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
see that one, that's just big
It
enough
is,
for your
isn't it?
neck.
It's like a noose, that
Yeah.
one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need a bigger rope.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we've had some great ones.
Yeah.
I think the other one as well was can I think of a name now? You know, when you know her, but you can't think of the name. I mean, we were talking to her from Australia.
Oh
What was the name?
God.
We've got to get it. We were only talking
Have
about
to get
it.
it
We
back.
kept
Have
getting
to
it
get
back on again. She was lovely.
Ainsley Cullen.
Ainsley Cullen.
Ainsley Cullen. But she has
Yeah.
like a paranormal name type thing on her
Right.
Instagram,
And she-
Facebook. But she is a social worker. Right.
Oh, you
Gotta get on this. She is a social worker. She has cats. She does paranormal stuff in her own apartment.
Okay.
Mm.
She's very much into paranormal and all that type of stuff. And so we were interviewing her. Lovely girl. She goes off on her own as well.
She does have a couple of people.
She's just like a couple now and again, but she's got no issue with just going off on her own.
Yeah.
Jumps in the car, goes off and go into abandoned buildings and stuff and do paranormal. So we were like, well, what sort of equipment do you have, Ainsley? And she's like, well, I have like the K2 meter and the spirit box and blah 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 and bolt cutters.
Bolt cutters.
That's what
We
your
just-
expression then
yeah.
Neil, was what we were like
because
when we
when
looked at
she
each
said
other.
it, we just went, hey, they're bolt cutters. And she's like, yeah, bolt cutters, yeah. What's that for? Cut the locks off the benches so we can get into the abandoned buildings.
And then she goes,
She's
wasn't
a
supposed.
social,
She went to-
social
yeah.
worker. She says I shouldn't have said that, should I?
But she laughed with it as well, didn't
Yeah.
she? And that was one of the great.
Crazy.
That was a lovely
Crazy
interview.
guy.
That
Bolt
was.
cutters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Like,
but we said we've got to. We were talking about it
Gotta
the other
get
week,
her
weren't we?
back
Said,
on.
oh, we've got to get Ainsley back on as well, you know.
yeah. She was good.
So yeah, there were 3 years. I mean, I don't know how many people we've
Remember
interviewed.
the ones from Australia? What were they called?
Haunted Horizons.
Haunted Horizons.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You thought Jamie could talk. I'll tell you what,
I
Neil.
love them
right?
too. Yeah.
We rang
Need
them
more
up.
than a tin opener.
Oh,
Price yourself in there.
we rang them up. I don't know, say 8 o'clock our time. 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night. And I think we started the show about 11. Started recording about 11 o'clock.
We were chatting to them that long,
Right.
We could have done the show.
Done the full 2 hour, because it was 2 hours then.
That's right, the old shows were long, weren't they?
Done the whole 2 hour show with them. And then we were still on the phone for about another 2 or 3 hours after.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And they were from Australia.
I was like, I don't believe this. It's just another Jamie.
But they'd actually been to Mill Street, and that's how I met them.
Right.
They came and had done, we've known each other ever since, you know, and they're an award-winning paranormal team over in Australia.
They do like tours, don't they?
Yeah,
And
they're
stuff.
fantastic.
I think they do it a little bit different over there.
Yeah.
So I think, no, like when you get them tours, like in York and in Liverpool, like, like the Shiverpool people aren't they?
Yeah.
Like that. I think they sort of do along them lines, but they do paranormal investigations within the tour.
Yeah. Because obviously like Australia's not.
Mm.
It's not a country that's
It's
old,
not
is it?
historic, is it?
Exactly, that's it. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Where like sort of like, you know, America, England, France,
Even
and all that,
America,
you know.
people
not
in
old,
America are quite, how could you say it, quite envious.
Your phone.
They're quite envious of us.
Yeah.
And they always say when we speak to them, they're always like, we'd love to go to the UK because of the age of the buildings and the history
And
of
the co-host.
And the co-host. That's been brewing all night, that one.
I'll get you back. Yeah,
So-
they're quite envious of us because
Yeah,
of the
it
age
is steeped in history, isn't it? You know, and
And you're going to ask
effectively-
them then, the other ones, which we think is a success. What we do is we do a little bit of research on whoever we want to interview.
I know
And
what you're
sometimes
saying, yeah.
we get on YouTube and we go, do you know, they've only got like two, 3 subscribers, but they're
Like
quite
us.
interesting.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself. And do you know, we'll get in touch with them and let's see if we can have an interview with them.
Yeah.
Why? Because there's only like, they've only got, was it three
I think they had
subscribers?
5.
5
But 3 of them
subscribers.
was me, Jamie and Marie.
Me. So I thought, I'll get hold of them. So we got hold of them. So any chance of an interview? Yeah. So we got them, didn't we?
Yeah.
Fantastic interview with them. We were actually giving them advice.
Mm.
They are now, they're from Canada, they're called the Paranormies. They are now having they're on their own TV thing.
Wow.
That the success for them has gone from 5 subscribers
Unknown, yeah.
to, I think it's,
They were like 100,000 subscribers they've gone to.
It's mad, that, isn't it?
and I still message them now.
Still,
and
yeah,
how
still
you
talk to
doing?
them, yeah.
But
So
see,
it's great
as when we first spoke to them, it said it was like taboo over there
in Canada, yeah.
for paranormal stuff. And I don't think there's that much history in Canada.
No, we introduced them to
Yeah,
the
it's
not
about
Capitol
the
like-
state again, isn't it? It's,
Yeah,
because we were saying to them, get
but they were
yourself some
finding
Capitals.
abandoned places to go to.
yeah.
'Cause remember when they didn't have a law? They were going to get yourself some cat balls
Yeah.
and do
Yeah.
this and do that, and then next minute they would have
I
cat
think
balls.
the cat balls, to be fair, because I used to obviously be used here last year
Mm.
Yeah,
when we were
they're good.
downstairs, and I think because we had some really great responses off them.
Yeah.
You'd never think to use a cat ball, in all fairness,
Yeah,
and the response we had off them was fantastic.
it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's good in a way that you can have one sitting there all night, and it wouldn't go off at all, and then you can go and touch it like that, and it'll light up. So it's not like switch
Yeah.
itself off or nothing like that. And then you can take that same cat ball to a different room and go and put it down somewhere.
Nothing.
And no, so you've got nothing in one room with
Yeah.
it. You can take that same one, you can go and put it somewhere else,
And it's
and it'll be
non-stop.
going off on
Yeah.
demand.
I think that's how as we had here, because I think we had it downstairs on the other side
Yeah.
to begin with,
Yeah,
and
we
we were
did,
getting
yeah.
nothing off it down. Even though we were having activity down there,
Yeah.
the cat balls weren't going off.
Mm.
But then we took
Right.
down to the little cellar here, and they were
going on.
just
Jellyfish,
yeah,
yeah.
they were
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
They were very, very
It's
good.
crazy.
Yeah, they're very good.
Cool.
So, sort of, what's the future then for Access Paranormal, Jamie, Jonathan?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. The future is
What's a hold? Where do you want to go with it? How far do you want to go? Plans?
wherever it takes us.
Yeah.
We just
Yeah.
what we're trying to do.
Do you have no
is-
forward plan type of thing?
No, we don't do
Yeah.
it. We
Well, some groups have a
not
plan,
really,
don't they?
no.
Want to, by the
No.
time we want to have done that, or we want to go on to that, you know, so...
No, we just like
enjoy it.
go with it because
Yeah.
it's like a hobby to us,
Yeah.
isn't it? Do you know
I don't.
what
I
mean?
don't think you can plan ahead like that with the paranormal because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, we might come into a place next week and do a full investigation and get a full apparition, and that could take you, who knows? Because I mean, you know, that's what can happen, and that's why we do it. But I think in the direction we're going, we're doing like the podcasts, and we love doing the radio show. That's one thing we really enjoy doing, because every time we think right, okay, do the podcast, we do the radio. Like we've done tonight, we've done the podcast with you and recorded the radio show at the same time.
Yeah.
So we're trying to keep everybody happy.
We've evolved over the years, because in the beginning it was only the radio, and it was a 2-hour show, and that used to take
a long time.
Hours.
Sometimes that could take like
that's
8
that's
or
why
9
we
hours.
to the early ones.
Yeah. But it has evolved. We cut it down to the hour. Then we started doing the podcast, and then we were sort of juggling both, and we were doing them both separately. So that was taking. It gone from being a 2-hour show and taking all them hours to being an hour show, and not taking as long.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started doing the podcast, and the amount of time it was taking went up again, because we were doing 2 different things. And I was like, well, why don't we just sort of like mix the two, and what we do on the podcast we could use on the radio.
Yeah, and it works.
What we use on the radio we can do on the put on the podcast.
Yeah.
And you can just intermix it.
Yeah.
And what's good about that?
It works well now.
But what's good about that as well is you're covering every aspect of it.
You know, before you said you've seen the shadow.
Yeah.
I've just seen that same shadow now. In that corner.
I'm glad you two are facing that.
Honestly, I've just seen that, because obviously you're looking at me there. I'm looking out towards that window, and the shadow has just literally caught my attention. And again, like we said before, we've 15 foot up in the air in the room on its own.
And this is why I was saying you can't plan ahead, because look, it's just happened. You know, we've done shows and we've gone, what was that? What was that? You know, we just enjoy. We don't cut anything.
Yeah, we don't.
Everything's done by.
Yeah.
We don't cut stuff out. Yeah, we'll edit it.
Yeah.
What we'll have to do is we'll have to do a podcast of us doing the radio show, so people can see behind the scenes of what's going on.
Another one again.
Oh, don't.
Honestly, I swear to you now.
Yeah. Stop it. Yeah.
That is a very active call.
You sure it's not them? Or
No. It's literally.
There's people in the hall now.
The reflection I've got now is the monitor. The 2 monitors on the desk. That's the desk. I'm seeing a shadow behind that corner.
You can't really see out because it's dark in the hall. You can't see out.
Yeah.
So the only reflections you're getting are from in this room.
Yeah. Anyway, going back to the subject. We don't.
That puzzle's back.
We don't.
No, he's got his pads on.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I've got me. Watch the time.
10 for men.
Yeah.
We don't plan ahead, really, do we?
No.
Sometimes
we can't.
He's locking everything. This is why I love
we
doing
can't,
this show.
You need the toilet all the time.
No. How did your voice go then?
I know, yeah. It's because he's sitting on something. No, I mean, we never plan ahead, because anything can happen, can't it?
Yeah.
Sometimes we've been sitting there and we go, should we go and do a ghost hunt tonight for the show? And we'll just get up and do it and come back. And it's the enjoyment of not knowing what's next.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true, because you don't know, do you?
No,
you don't know.
Like, I mean, sometimes you're on holiday, especially due to the charmers there. You know what I mean? So you have to, and it's great because we'll record the podcast and the radio show, and we might do 3 of them in one night. Because thankfully the show
because he's not there.
Because he's pre-recorded, because he's never here. Yeah, it's either him or Marie who's gone on holiday. I'm the one who's like.
Yeah, no, it was good a few weeks ago, Neil. That we went to Jamie's and we done. We had like, I think we had an interview, didn't we, and like 2 investors, and we were like, what should we do tonight? I was like, oh, what have we got? So we were like have stuff on his computer and stuff, and he was like, well, I've got that, and I've got that, and I've got that.
We just need to talk.
I was like, well, come on then. What are you waiting for?
Let's just do it.
Let's get up there, get the computer on, load all the stuff up, and we'll just put them in and we'll talk. Put that in the middle, talk again.
Job done.
And we've got 3 shows done.
Yeah. But when we
great.
first, I mean, it's great because we've learned so much from in the past 3 years. We've learned so much and enjoyed it along the way. Sometimes I was stubborn. I was going, no, it's 2 hours, 2 hours, no, 2 hours, no, 2 hours, 2 hours. Okay, 1 hour then. That's what, because they wear me down. It's 2 against 1, so I'm worn down. But it becomes logic.
But that doesn't stop you every now and again. There's doing a special. You know, we could do like a 2 hour. You know, again, going back to L35, we did that as a 2 hour. Because a lot happened that night. You know, a lot going on.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So again, there's no harm in doing
special
that.
ones.
So about that, obviously there is a Halloween special this year, isn't there?
Yes.
I lost my train of thoughts again. I'm looking at the window trying to speak.
I'm glad I'm not near your ages because I'm all right with my train of thoughts.
That's all right.
Except when somebody disturbs me.
Actually, so
He's lost it again.
I've lost the train of thought. Halloween.
Yeah.
Again, it's not so far away. Are you doing the special here? Is it what we're going to do for the radio?
We are, yeah. We're doing a special here. I can't remember the date.
Actually, it was Halloween, wasn't it? We said.
It's the Halloween weekend. It's on
so
Saturday.
I think it's just before, isn't
Is
it?
it just about
there will be a poster.
I think.
There will be a poster out
28th,
anyway with all the information on it.
I'll tell you now.
And if anybody wants any tickets, you can get hold of L35 or L35. Get hold of Neil. Neil will take your name and everything else, and when we get it all sorted, then it's, you know.
Yeah, because we'll record that as well for the radio to go out as well.
Yeah. We'll definitely come along and record it. Make sure it's working this time.
Well, it depends what we do record it. Well, we have better recorders.
Here's us, Neil, talking away.
28.
Saturday the 28th of October.
Right, okay. So that's definitely
brilliant.
It's not too far away. It's not, because actually yesterday Halloween stuff was out in shops yesterday. We went shopping yesterday.
Yeah, it's all out now, isn't it?
Halloween stuff is out, so it's not that far away, is it really? So you can officially talk about it. It's
do you know what I think's brilliant though? Is Jonathan gets right into the Halloween stuff, you know. He's even bought the mask.
And he wears it all the time.
Yeah, exactly, Neil. I'm used to it. Doesn't scare me as much now. Except when he jumps out. We had our works here, just rabbits and honey, you know, but we had my works. They wanted to do a paranormal investigation, didn't they?
Yeah.
So we brought them here for an investigation. And they loved it. They said, we'll only stay.
It's like a screen fest.
We'll probably only be here. Yeah, probably only be here till 10 o'clock at the latest. Yeah, no problem. Every single one of them was still here at midnight.
Were they?
Yeah. I'm surprised you never heard them when you were out.
Oh, Amy.
It's one of them buildings, isn't it? You know, it does deliver. You know,
it does.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does deliver.
It does. Very rare it doesn't.
It's our favourite location, isn't it?
I suppose they have to have a rest sometimes, don't they?
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll have a little...
The buildings or the hosts?
Well,
us.
Yeah, sometimes the spirits will have a...
Sometimes, Neil, I'm recording your show, we'll be here. It'll be 3 o'clock in the morning. Me and him are recording a 1 hour show, so it's 4 o'clock. I go home at 4 o'clock in the morning, set it all up, send it over to you for that night.
Yeah, because I've been regularly on the morning, like literally earlier, the shows have popped up.
Yeah.
Ready there. And I think to myself, he's on an early one,
or
he's on the late one, one or the other. Yeah. I think I remember saying once he did an invest here, then he recorded a radio, then he recorded a podcast, and then he went home, you edited it, and then he sent it over,
Edited the podcast.
Wasn't that last week? Was it last week? We done 3, didn't we?
We done 3 last week.
Yeah.
And then we've got, we recorded a podcast with you.
Yeah.
And that went out last week.
Yeah.
Or the week before, I can't remember, I don't know. Pre-recordings, I have to keep thinking where I am.
Yeah, because obviously there's one on Monday, isn't it, which is yourself and Jonathan on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Premieres on Monday, doesn't it?
That's just a catch-up where we're talking about it.
That's when you listen to this. It must have been last week.
Can you see how we think of it?
When
we're pre-recording and we're saying, so last week, no, it wasn't. It was this week. No, it could have been next week, but I don't know.
Maybe the week before. Yeah.
You've got to think. Sometimes we write down, this show's going out on this night, so we can talk about this, but we can't talk about that. Yeah. So sometimes it's harder than going live.
Well, even events are the same, aren't they? You get events wrong as well. Yeah,
I get that.
Like that one in July,
Yeah, the one in July, yeah.
Or August.
Oh.
What date was it in August?
I don't know, 28th? 7th?
27th? Because I'm just thinking back now to probably off key now, but you did the interview with Judy Malone.
As usually,
obviously, it must have been about dates then because Christmas because dates kept coming up all the time. Because you kept repeating, because the kids, Christmas
she
was
got him big time
big
near the
style,
end of it.
She kept saying about it, and she was saying, so what was that date again, Jamie? I was going, what date? Oh, like
a few times.
Yeah.
That's on the podcast as well.
Yeah, that's what I remember. I watched that. Yeah,
That's she's so funny.
Yeah.
She's coming back home.
yeah.
I think Tom's coming with her, isn't she? Isn't he?
He's very dry, isn't he?
Oh, Neil,
So,
she brought
I
him
think they're a great duo.
a few months
We
ago,
filmed with
wasn't it?
Yeah.
A few months ago, the pair of them were here.
He filmed with us, didn't he?
Yeah, with the film
Filming
production
crew,
Yeah.
crew came.
They've got their own crew, have they?
They must, I think they go round. They must have like so many of the Gogglebox
Right.
people.
in
Yeah.
his
Whatever.
building. Yeah.
He was hilarious.
He is.
So funny.
Absolutely hilarious.
Because when you watch the show, obviously he does give some good one-liners.
Yes.
You know, and
he
they
does,
are
yeah.
good. That's it.
Yeah.
I think,
He's like that in real life, though, isn't
I
he?
think my two favourite, obviously them, the Malones, but also the two in the caravan as well.
Oh, they're funny. Them.
Lee and what of a name? I forget.
Yeah.
They're just brilliant.
Maureen?
You know,
No, it's not Maureen.
They're
don't know.
superb. That.
Yeah. I think for them, they make it, and obviously he's died now, God bless him. But it's the old guy from Liverpool. Lou, was it? Leo?
Yeah,
Leon.
Leon. that was
Leon
it,
and Jude.
They
were
were,
funny.
they were funny. Some of the stuff he did was brilliant. But it's a great show.
The one that stuck
yes.
out with me was when she hoovered the crumbs off him.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Anyway, like Marie does with Jamie, really, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
We
that's
should
right.
do
Yeah.
that, you know. We should do like a parabox where we're watching the. That doesn't sound right.
We watched the paranormal.
We
stuff.
watch the paranormal.
Yeah.
And say, oh come on, that's a load of rubbish, and put it on.
Yeah.
Like you know,
Yeah.
Well,
do.
bit of Ghost Watch.
Yeah.
You know what's going? Yeah. You know, somebody will go and
That's a
take
good
that.
idea.
Take that idea now, won't
Yeah,
we?
well,
Yeah.
we'll have to cut that
Yeah.
out because other
Yeah.
people are going to listen to that and take it off.
Copyright that one.
Yeah, but Tom was exactly the same as what he is on Gogglebox in real.
Yeah.
Brilliant fella.
That's just him.
Yeah.
The only thing is you'd have to bleep every second word.
Well, they were laughing at me because I sat with Julie for an hour chatting away to it, and they said, "You know, you're talking to
Yeah,
her."
the
I
first
said,
time she
"Yeah."
came,
Yeah.
she was with a group. He doesn't know. He doesn't really watch TV stuff like that. He doesn't take any notice. So I'd come in a little bit later, and he was sat down and on a table in the hall with her, and I went over and I thought, do I recognise her face from somewhere? And she doesn't say who she is or nothing.
There's no hers or
She
graces.
just it's got her own
Genuinely
like paranormal
interesting.
group, and so goes and sits down and she starts going on about the Dobermans and stuff.
Yeah, because they love dogs, don't they?
And I was like, I'm sure that's it on Gogglebox. So anyway, we left into it and we'd gone in the bar, and I was like, I said, that's it off Gogglebox, isn't it? And he's like, I don't know. So Marie comes and I was like, Marie, who's that woman? I said, it's it off Gogglebox, isn't it? She was like, yeah. And Jamie asked her if she'd do like a podcast with us, and she came in and she was like, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah. She said, the only thing you can't do is mention the word Gogglebox.
Yeah. Separate entity. Right.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And they went, I knew it, and I was going,
Yeah.
stunning.
And she would just go,
Yeah, he was sat there for an hour.
Sat with her
just
for
a
an
very
hour,
chatty
so-
woman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just lovely. It's just that down to earth,
Yeah.
though. It's like when she's doing the ghost hunts and that. She's not like one of these that'll go like, "Oh, I'm Julie Malone, I've Gogglebox," and
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
she's
she doesn't
brilliant.
mention
No,
who
that's
she
it,
is or anything like that. She's just dead down to
So
earth.
nice.
Best way, isn't it?
Lovely.
Yeah.
That's right.
Really,
Lovely
really
people.
nice people. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's funny though when he came.
Yeah.
Really funny.
Top
Okay.
class.
Get the bleeper set up for the next one then.
Yeah, definitely.
We had to say
Definitely.
no win.
Yeah.
So I think we're coming sort of the end of our time now.
Are we?
Yeah.
Are we?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just
Yeah.
I'm looking at the shadows. So we've got a lot of subjects. 3 years, been a great time.
Years, yeah.
Mm.
So hopefully another 3 years. I'm sure there will be another good 3 years there.
Oh, I
Yeah.
can't wait.
Oh,
you know,
definitely.
of
Can't
good
wait.
And
material.
hopefully on L35 as well. Now.
No, L35's going nowhere. So
Yeah.
you know we'll always
Norway.
we'll be here. So we will be broadcasting. If we don't have a license, we can broadcast yourselves. So we don't need the license to broadcast speech.
So yeah.
So thank you very much from me this time round interviewing Jamie and Jonathan at Mill Street Barracks in St Helens. Good night.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Hello, yeah. Thanks, Neil.
Pleasure.
And we'll be back next week. See you then.
On L35.
PM.